Hello, we're live. Welcome on in, everybody. We are back for episode number 3
It's
of
3.
the Share the Point podcast, Lisa. Look at us coming back. I mean,
Oh,
I'd like to say we're on like a long Christmas and holiday break, but we've been like busy,
it's
like
been a mental first
busy.
quarter.
It has been. So, for any of our eager people that have watched the last ones, it was December 15th, I think it was. We kind of recorded the
Hmm
last one. So, it was obviously at the end of the 2025. So, Happy New Year!
I know.
Happy New Year to everyone. We're at the end of March, becoming to obviously the beginning of April. I think it's 31st of March as we're recording this today, but it'll probably be out on maybe today. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see how busy I am this afternoon. But yeah, welcome on in. Thank you very much for joining us. And Lisa,
Yes.
how's things? It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. How you
I know,
keeping?
you too. Yeah, good. Good. I don't get to see you very much at the moment because you're so busy. I need to stop putting stuff in your diary and have a catch up.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah, yeah. No, it'd be cool. It's just no. It has genuinely been the most insane first quarter this year. It's like normally. And start of January, it goes a bit quiet, and then it kind of picks up end January into February, and then goes really quiet for the end of the financial year. And that's not happened. And it's showing no signs of calming down.
I mean, has been a Microsoft 365 specialist company that covers everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
literally we are covering everything. It feels like this year we've covered so much from automation to workflows, porting, SharePoint migrations, apps. I don't want to say support. There's not an edge of the sphere
Power BI,
that
we are
hasn't been
blue in the
touched.
face.
Oh, it's been insane. Even to the point where I'm starting to look at Power BI, which is very unusual for me. I don't touch that type of stuff. But we'll come to that a bit. Obviously, we have been looking at obviously new technologies, new features, things that have been coming as well. But we have been super busy to the point we have a little bit of business news, a little bit of Blackbird business news. We have a new human.
We do have a new human,
We have a new
Anthony,
human. Yeah.
and he's fabulous. I still remember his first day in the office when he came down to pick up his kit. And for those that don't realise, obviously the main office is in Stoke-on-Trent, but Stuart and Anthony both live up in Scotland. Anthony came down to pick up his kit from us, and Melissa, who we still haven't got on this yet, we still have to do that.
We will make it happen.
So yeah, he came into the office, and within about 20 minutes, she came through to my office and looked at me, and she went, "I think we've actually employed the Energizer Bunny." Because he's so passionate, so enthusiastic. He's just lovely. He would have been on this, but I've got him in London.
He's training.
He's
Yeah, we'll get
training.
him onto one of the next ones. We'll
He
get
is
on to
training in
Hang.
London this week, and next week for that matter. But yeah, and he's genuinely so enthusiastic, so eager to learn, such passion and drive, and yeah, so he's becoming. Even though you and I used to be called the Energizer Bunnies for SharePoint, I think he's coming up fast.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
think, and the feedback we got from the training already was super positive.
it's amazing.
Yeah, so we'll be looking at. We'll probably see Anthony around the sort of the training rooms over the next sort of year. So you'll probably see myself or Lisa, and maybe an Anthony now joining the fray. So yeah, he's down in London. Is it London?
He's in London, London City Centre this week, and he's back down. He's back down again next week for the same client.
Goodness gracious me, he's definitely got you're chucking him straight into the deep end.
Well, you can only break somebody in gently for so long, and then it's like you just throw them in and get them going.
That is true. It's just weird, like the little history is like I don't know how me and Anthony don't know each other. His parents literally live 3 doors away, 2 doors away from my parents' house.
Yep.
Weird how things work, but never met. But there you go.
Yeah.
Weird. The world is a funny thing.
It certainly is.
That's like something exciting. So we're busy, new people coming on board, and it looks like it's just going to continue that way through obviously the next few months as well. It looks like we're all pretty much busy. Because I think my start of the year was a quality management app for a client across in Edinburgh, which has been super fun. I think it's got one of, if not the most complex Power App I've ever made, because a user can come from it's a Power App, and you raise like incidents and non-conformances and stuff like that. And one of them is basically you can access the app from an email, and it takes you straight into the record using deep linking. So you can come that way. You can also come from like your own workload. Like, oh, I want that's all the stuff I've got to do. Right, I can just see my stuff. I've got to come from there, and I can go from a gallery of doing all the things I can come from there. So you're coming from all these different places into one record, and it's got to know what record you're looking at. So there's so many conditions, and the customer's like, "Oh my goodness gracious me!" I'm like, "Oh goodness gracious me!" So it's been a really fun one to make. It's been a lot of lessons learned and stuff, and sort of new techniques. Overall, though, yeah, it's been super fun. But that came to an end last week. And the main
Friday.
build,
Yeah,
so
Friday.
Friday.
They're doing all their testing and everything at the moment.
Yeah.
Which, as we both spoke to the client yesterday, and super happy and over the moon with it.
They're really grateful. It's going to hopefully all the feedback we've had from like key stakeholders has been it's intuitive, it's easy to follow, it makes sense. I'm just like, perfect. That's what we want, because the system is clunky, slow, and weird. So we've got a few sort of like phase 2 things they want to add in, nice to haves, reporting, like reminders, like things that wasn't in the initial scope. So yeah, I think that's going to keep me busy at least for another month or so once that comes in, and we'll be busy bees. Aye, but we're here to talk. We'll talk some tech news. We'll give everyone some updates, because obviously there are a few updates around, and certainly has been. You only think 3 months. Oh, a lot's happened in 3 months, Lisa.
It's gone mental.
Nothing happens, but yep, big explosion of stuff, as a lot of people may already know. It was SharePoint's 25th birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. SharePoint's 25th birthday, and Lisa and I have pretty much been around for most of that, I would say. I think my earlier sort of touch with 2008, 2007 is when I kind of was around the technology before I kind of met you in 2009, I think it was. And yeah, we've been around it for pretty much most of that. So it was kind of funny, obviously, with the 25th anniversary, there was a lot of new things announced, particularly around the use of Copilot, which also we'll get to, and a completely new user interface experience to some degree. We did see it last year. We had spoken in a previous podcast, Lisa, didn't we, about the new library experience, which kind of was drip fed first. It was weird how now that they kind of see where things are, why didn't they just wait and do that at the same time? It was almost like they drip fed it a little bit, when like, we're changing, and then we're going to continue to change to kind of put it on the back. But
I mean, the other thing with the new library experience, I mean, I had clients I was training even at the start of this year that hadn't had the experience come through yet. So it was right. Okay, so this is how it looked. This is how it's now going to look. You will get it. It will just switch overnight, and this is what's going to happen. And oh, you've disappeared. There you go. He's back. I can't hear you now. Keep talking. Okay. So it was really weird that the rollout for the new library experience seemed to take so long that loads of people had it, loads of people didn't have it, and I did explain literally overnight you're going to wake up and it will be changed. And then obviously all the new additions that went into it, especially the new inbuilt workflow experience, which I got very excited about. Granted, after I'd been on site with a client and had been building the exact workflow that got added into the SharePoint library the week before. So yeah, it's gone a bit mad. So you've got that one. You've got the new pages template experience that's come out. Really cool, pretty snazzy, and you've got lots of different aspects of different layouts, different designs. It kind of gives people a much better kind of experience of designing things. Not everybody's a designer. I mean, my previous history and background was marketing and advertising, so I love doing graphic design stuff. But lots of people, when I train them, will turn around and say, design's really not my thing, really not keen on doing this. And yeah, you can work from a blank page and it'll come across, and you can lay things out and make them look really cool. I've seen some phenomenal ones. But now, with the new page design experience, that there's so much more you can do, and the templates are there designed around what information you're trying to release and get out to everybody. So if you're ever fearful of using SharePoint Designer or any design aspect in SharePoint, don't be going forward, because the site pages are fantastic.
Am I back?
You're back.
God, I have no idea what happened there. I clicked the button and it just I just left, joined, fixed. Weird.
Yep.
Where were
Joys of technology.
Yeah, new library experience. There we go. Yeah. That's where I last kind of heard you, when I could hear. Yeah, it was a big shift, and then obviously the new UI coming in from SharePoint is not just SharePoint libraries as we now know. There's going to be a lot of obviously changes with the whole SharePoint start page, which is being completely replaced as well. Which is we've seen it. We've obviously Microsoft have demoed it. We've got it live on our tenant already, and it is obviously going to change the way in which we discover content, search for content, get around our SharePoint sites, and then with the full integration with Microsoft Copilot. The ability to summarize complete SharePoint sites, lists, and libraries almost instantly, from that better SharePoint. Because the SharePoint experience before was very 2013. It hadn't really changed. So with that new experience, it just aligns the SharePoint UI and the Copilot to give this whole searching, summarization capability. And I heard you talk about the pages.
Yes.
Yeah. So AI with pages. We'll talk about that release date in a minute. But yeah, the ability to create pages with AI with Copilot, and also the ability to edit and manage and modify and all that stuff. It's kind of exciting. Really cool that we can just put a prompt in and just ta-da.
Ta-da. But I mean, the one thing I will mention out to everybody is the new SharePoint experience when it comes out. So it's in preview at the moment. And as Stuart said, we've got it on our system to have a look and have a play around with it. Now, some of the functionality, you've got to have a Copilot license, a full Copilot license to utilize it. So, when it comes out, there will be bits, if you don't have a full Copilot premium license, that will be grayed out and you won't be able to use it because you don't have the full Copilot license. And there'll be other areas you can use with the free Copilot license and that's already built into SharePoint. I mean, I had a client recently get really excited when I told them about all of this, and they were like, woohoo! And I was like, do you have a Copilot license? She went, no. And I was like, you're not going to get it all.
You'll get the new look and feel.
Yeah,
but you're not going to get all the tools that come with it.
Not all the bells and whistles that come with it.
We've said this before. I remember like when Copilot first came out, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's a good assistant for helping write a document, drafting an email, things we could kind of do in ChatGPT already, and we could just pull that stuff in. But now to see SharePoint get a full integration with Copilot, we'll try and go through each of them in turn at the moment and give it its proper respect, because I think that it is going to revolutionize the way in which our role maybe changes and the way in which companies can take advantage of it potentially. There's a lot of, I'm worried for customers that if they have Copilot licenses and they come to a SharePoint site and they could just type in what they want, it's going to start building like lists and columns and views, and they're maybe not experienced enough to understand what that actually means. So there is a good and the bad potentially. We can obviously see it from both perspectives, but from a high level, what we can now do is, we can build, using our Copilot full license, SharePoint lists through natural language. So I need a SharePoint list to capture expenses. I need a start time, a client name, a cost, a receipt, a picture, whatever it might be, and it'll just build the list for you. I want to then, once I have that, I want a view that tells me what things are outstanding or overdue or not being completed. Right? It creates a view for you, and then I then ask Copilot a summary, and then it summarizes your SharePoint list. So from creation to management to summarization, Copilot can now do all of that in a SharePoint list. And for years, you and I have been teaching people how to make that manually, so they understand not just how to do it, but the best practice, the do's and don'ts, the rhymes and the reasons, and how to do the requirement gathering correctly to make sure you build it. Now that's kind of been missed a little bit potentially. So when we are going to be teaching, it's going to be, have you got Copilot? Yes, you can use it, but we're still going to emphasize the importance of good practice, pros and cons, do's and don'ts. Although this is going to make it easier for users to potentially do stuff, and it will, and it's going to, even the way which we do, we're quoting for work on a SharePoint list. Normally that would take me 2 hours, could now take you under 10 minutes, as long as you knew the requirements going into it to then ask it what to do for you. So it's really fascinating, especially obviously that's the SharePoint list one. That's the great upsides. And the downside, I would say that obviously now is controlling on permissions. The ability within SharePoint to be, all users can now no longer have full control. They can't all have edit. And although we know that edit is the default for members, imagine, Lisa, if you have a full Copilot license with an edit permission on a SharePoint site, how dangerous could that now be?
Oh, insane.
Yeah, creating columns, deleting columns, creating lists, modifying views. So from anyone that's from a governance perspective or SharePoint IT admin, it's now even more important to, yes, we can have Copilot licensing, but permissions on your SharePoint site are becoming even more critical to ensure that that is locked down.
Yeah, I mean, I had that conversation with the client I trained last week, and they have all got a full Copilot license. And, it's when clients speak to us and they say, oh, we're going to give everybody edit rights. And I'm like, maybe not. You might not want to do that. So when we got to the permission section of the training and I was explaining to them, here's your 6 primary permission levels, this is what they all mean. You might want to change that one from edit to contribute.
Every time.
And they were like, why? I said, because, you're giving people the rights to play and do what they like. I said, and you want control of that. So yeah, that's a big one I've been pushing out recently. It is just, it's a bit like the read only and view permission. The default used to be view. It's now read only, which gives everybody download capability. And very protective of our clients' data. I don't want it disappearing out the door. So it's like, no. So even though view technically doesn't exist and restricted view does, I show the admins, right, you can go in, create a permission called view and give them it and get rid of read. Yep. Don't give them it.
All covered by a Blackbird corporate SharePoint training course.
It is. Lots of them. SharePoint site owner and Zero to Hero.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah. And that's going to be part of, we've obviously, Lisa and I have had many conversations over the past few weeks, months, since this announcement came out. And that'll be something when we speak to you guys as customers in the future. If you're looking for training, it will be, do you have Copilot? Do you use it? Is it full? Because that's going to really influence how we teach and how we teach SharePoint as an owner level, and for administration as well, to make sure you're governed correctly. So yeah, so SharePoint List will get full Copilot integration, which is really exciting. I'm going to start to play with it this week, actually in our tenancy. I've not had a chance to play with it like in detail. I really want to get aggressive with it and see what it really fully can do, rather than just being told it's going to do it. I'm now going to actually go in and get my hands a bit dirty this week. Now that I'm a bit free this week, not free, but I have some more free time, Lisa. So I'm going to play around, and we'll feedback next month. The next big one is libraries. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So we obviously have the ability to create libraries, create views, summarize our document libraries. A lot of that was obviously currently available through agents where we could summarize anyway. But now the ability to create libraries and columns and views, kind of the same way as what SharePoint lists are. So it's kind of like for like in that scenario. But obviously libraries, a more common one that we have our customers using. But yeah, the ability to create columns, modify views, create views. And that's really fascinating because a lot of time when we're teaching conditional formatting through the column formatting or list view formatting options, it's a very niche skill set to who can do that. And obviously it's been made, you don't have to use JSON fully now, but you obviously still have a little bit element of it. Being able to use Copilot now, there's nothing really off the cards. There's no experience, there's no skill set, there's no JSON required, there's no methodical thinking. It's just natural language. Mm-hmm. Highlight a row when the date is overdue, and it'll do it for you. Like, I love that. It's going to make it so much easier for users to be able to engage with their SharePoint sites, I think, and make them better. But they have to be careful.
Yes.
So permissions is definitely a big emphasis on that one. So be careful, everybody. Be careful. Be careful.
It's and I touched on it when you disappeared and came back. Is the integrated workflows now in a SharePoint library?
Yeah.
And life-changing, absolutely amazing. The amount of times that people will say to me, I don't know if I can get my head around Power Automate to build what I'm looking for. And as you know, when I was on site with that client, building that workflow for them, and I hit no end of hiccups, phoned you, and I was like, can you have a look at this? And then 24 hours later, you sent me a message going, look what's coming. And I was like, I've just built that.
Yeah, that's one thing I say to customers quite a lot. Is like, the solution might not be now. Like,
no, but
it could be just like, wait 6 months, use this. So the integrated workflows is a massive one, and particularly the quick steps as well. Massive change. Where we just want to be able to trigger things based upon button clicks, and like, I want to trigger that workflow and I do this. It's just immediately available for these sort of more manual processes.
Yeah, and also especially with the quick steps, the fact that obviously anybody still using alerts. I was the biggest fan on the face of the planet for these things. Obviously, July they are being turned off. You will not be able to use them. There is a function in the quick steps to replace it, and also in rules. In the library experience and list experience as well. So just be conscious, if you are using them and you haven't seen it, they're going to go away in July.
Yeah, the rules are good actually. I've been having a little look at them recently because the rules, there's just for very simple things. Obviously, they don't handle the full end-to-end point of a process, which I mean should be understandable. But there is an ability to create these things with if it was created by this, if the status is equal to that, do this, do that. And there's a lot more. I'm trying to think of the other wording I was looking for. On the SharePoint list, particularly, you can integrate with other systems like Teams and stuff too. Just straight out of the box, super simple. They don't really require a lot of heavy lifting, and it's going to produce this and be in front of people quicker. I mean, upside to that is people get better workflows. Downside, governance.
Yes.
That's where I kind of have my slight concerns with the rules, because imagine if someone were I'll just go to the one here. It's like a date approaches, you pick in the number of days before, you choose the column you look at, you're going to send an email. And the rule is just on a per kind of person basis, like the alerts were. But the workflow integration, how is that going to impact us managing if something breaks? Were IT even aware that someone made something? So there's still...
Yeah, that's true.
There's the governance level that I worry about with the integration stuff, just a little bit. Because before we could control it via the Power Platform admin center and make who's a maker and who can do stuff, and and obviously that's a little bit clearer to go there. But because it's now directly in the front end of a SharePoint site, and you go straight to the workflows tab, you can start from a template. Let's just say, for example, recap communications on a topic, and it could build it for you. Now, obviously, naturally, you still need permissions. You still obviously connect to Power Automate and all the back end stuff, but a lot of companies may not know to set up the Power Platform environment permissions to stop people from just randomly creating stuff. So yeah, they're an amazing tool. It's going to make it just keep it all sort of directly in line with the quick steps, the rules, the workflow integration within our lists and our libraries. But as we always like to tell our customers, we're trying to look after you the best we can.
Are.
To be telling you, don't fully go down the hog. Please do your research and ensure that you understand who can create them, who can modify them, who can delete them. And then future proofing as well, like what if we move? What if we change name? What if the owner changes? All that type of stuff. But yeah, a lot of cool tech, Lisa.
I know.
A lot of cool tech. There's been a lot of big changes, and we're not even finished. I mean, there's a few more that I was going to lift off for today. I think the one that I've been playing with this week, after kind of spending a little bit of time with it, is Vibe apps.
I saw your post on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah. So I've been kind of just I picked up on it about 6 or 7 weeks ago, maybe longer than that. I kind of picked up on it. I was like, I'm going to give this a little bit of time till it just nourish a little bit, see what the feedback is from the community, see what people are thinking, and then start to get my own analysis onto it once I kind of see where we're at. So basically, for anyone that's never heard of Vibe apps before, previously in Power Platform, you'd have Canvas apps. Canvas apps are a WYSIWYG interface, drag and drop. You can put forms and galleries and screens and buttons and icons, and you basically pixel perfect can move things around wherever you want. And it's up to you to build it. You have to build it. And there was a small bit of AI integration. You could prompt in to build an app, and it would do the Dataverse tables, and it would try and build a Canvas app for you. But it was like, that was it. It would end at that point. You would then have to do all the hard work. But it gets you your idea to pen to paper bit faster. So we've already kind of had AI integration with Canvas apps before, but it was a bit, because it would always be Dataverse. It wouldn't be SharePoint. It couldn't be SQL. It would always just be straight Dataverse, straight Canvas app. That's it. And then it would hand over to you. Model-driven apps, non-really customizable. You can't really change anything. Obviously built on Dataverse, tables, basic forms, a little bit of custom branding. I mean, that came out at the start of this year or late last year, I think it was. And we could do custom themes and logos and hover colors and stuff, but we couldn't do pixel perfect control. And again, all the changes would be down to us to make all the changes. Vibe apps. So I love it and I hate it.
Oh, it's one of them.
Because, I'll give you both scenarios, and everyone can kind of then explore themselves. The great part about this is you have an idea for an app. In natural language, write in everything you want it to do. Now, the way in which the app is built is based upon your prompt. The better your prompt, the more accurate it's going to be. And what you can do, the example that I gave Lisa, that I actually sent you one the other day, actually, for when I was playing around with it, was a training booking system. So when Mel obviously deals with a booking, what we could do is we could build an app, so I could get visibility of my bookings within an app. I can add my travel notes, my customer feedback. She can update like schedules and calendars and statuses and all this type of stuff. Like, well, as a working example, let's just fire that in because it's meaningful to us as a business to have something that's like, oh, that's what that does, so we can kind of push back a bit. And it built the app. It was very clever. It basically built the screens. It was almost like it built like a power page. It was very, very well presented. And it would go through the prompt, create a plan, build all the data source. Again, it built it in Dataverse by default. So that's what it does by default. I did ask it to make it using SharePoint. Didn't do it. Even though I prompted it to use my SharePoint lists from specific URLs, it didn't like it. It still made the Dataverse tables by default and then built the app. But it built it. And it's very, very clever. It built all the screens, the forms, the galleries, dummy data so you could actually see it. An incredible, but within half an hour, you basically have a fully working training booking system. Half an hour. It's insane. If you were to build that in a Canvas app, you're talking at least 2 or 3 days. Kind of by default, by the time you build up all the Dataverse tables, build all the columns, build all the screens, the branding, the forums, like it takes so long. So I love that part. And when you start to modify the app, this is where you lose me a little bit, Lisa. It loses me. Because I just want to change the title of the app. I just want to click on the app title and change it from training app to Blackbird training app. You can't, there's no freehand text. You can't just click it and change it. You've got to ask Copilot to change the title for you. You click on the object so it highlights it, and a prompt box pops up. And you say, change the title, change the text of this section to be this, hit enter, Copilot will run, and then update it for you. So there's not a to and fro, and there's not a bit of both. It's literally just all Copilot commands and prompts to build your app. And that's where I hate it a little bit because I'd like the manual manipulation.
I was going to say, you then don't have control of it.
Correct, you don't. So if a customer said to me, hey, could you change that over 1 pixel? Can you just drag that to the side? Can you just remove this? Can you just change the color? It's like, I can ask Copilot to do it for me, but I can't just. And that's the difference with a Canvas app is I'd love if we had the same experience for Vibe apps, just allowing us to do the manual manipulation in the UI.
Especially once it's built.
Yeah. So I think there's lots of potential for this in the future, and that's why I've not jumped on it too quickly. It's not something I would maybe suggest to a customer to use because it is licensing specific. It's going to take a bit of time to learn. It's all to do with Copilot, and it doesn't give you that control of what you actually want to build as a solution. So I'm on the fence. I really like it, and I think the one thing I was going to talk about there is you can connect Vibe apps to SharePoint later. So after the fact in which it's being created, there's an option at the top called Data, connect to existing SharePoint list, and you can actually connect to existing SharePoint list and then swap it over. So so I've started to play around with that this week, and it's really quite clever. So there's a lot of potential there for Vibe apps. I definitely recommend people to have a look at it. Definitely for small, quick, easy solutions. If you've got Dataverse and a premium license and you've got access to Copilot, switch on Vibe apps. You can go into your Power Platform Admin Center and turn it on. It's just it literally is just a toggle, boop, and that activates it, and it's Vibe Power Apps. And I think the future of Power App development is so fascinating to me, Lisa. I think that we're moving from the point of like everything's quite manual with Canvas apps to Canvas apps does have some Copilot integration. It gives you suggestions, what it thinks it should do, and helps you with like commands, but doesn't actually do the doing. And that's a difference with Vibe apps. Vibe does the doing. I'd love if a world, now Microsoft are not going to be listening, but if you are, can I have a Vibe Canvas app, please, where it does both? Where I can do a command, create a new screen, add a gallery, connect to this data source and filter it by that, build a screen, add the gallery, doob, but let me
do the do,
like just drag it a little bit. And I think that's the only thing Vibe's kind of missing, I would say. But yeah, Vibe apps, very cool, Lisa.
Well, you never know, Mr. Microsoft, Mrs. Microsoft, if you are watching.
Yeah, I think that's where it's just how would a customer, for us, you and I, the way I look at it is not me personally, I like, how would a customer of ours use a Vibe app? Who would use a Vibe app? And I can see that anyone that's got little to no experience, little to no exposure, could use this to build something pretty quick and meaningful and do something with it. But that would also make it easier for them to learn it because they don't have to learn code or if statements or conditions or so it is possibly accessible, but you tell me within an organization we've met in the past 20 years or whatever, where a non-techie person is fully building an app for a business. Barely ever. Normally it's within an IT department, normally it's like an applications team, normally it's someone with a bit of exposure and experience, and they're typically the ones that are building it. So this is a big change in like methodology to having someone just building an app for the sake of building an app using Vibe. And I just don't know how a customer would. I think if it was a Power BI developer, Power App developer, Canvas apps and model-driven apps are still going to be, because they give you the control, you get access to the dev tools. Vibe, although there is a code view.
Okay. I know a few techies that enjoy that one.
They would. So yeah, so I've been playing around with that this week. So I'm gonna do a few posts this week on LinkedIn about Vibe apps as an overview, then Vibe apps with SharePoint, and then just try and provide a bit more of a summarization to customers, basically to see whether it's a viable option for the future to take advantage of your Copilot license, because it can. I think the Copilot license is going to keep going and keep extending. So,
speaking of licenses, the new E7 has been released.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this.
I briefly brought this up. I think it was the last podcast when I said we heard it's possibly on its way, but there'd been nothing, no sniff of anything coming, and then 3 days after Happy Birthday, and they did the big ta-da! This is what's happening with SharePoint. They did a ta-da! Here's an E7 license. Now, obviously, lots of us, there's various, business licenses and enterprise licenses out there. And the E7 basically gives you an E5, E3?
E5. Yeah.
Yeah, E5 with Copilot.
Yep, that's it.
There is a downside. It's £100 a month per user.
Yeah. Well, I think it's $99. I think in pounds it'll be a little bit less, but
but a lot of pennies.
Yeah, I think it's available May 1st, it says. That I've just pulled up on the licensing model, and $99 per user per month. But that does then give you
full Copilot.
Everything. Full Copilot.
Everything.
All your security services, which you should have anyway for Copilot, and obviously your typical E3 sort of like content as well. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of enterprise businesses out there. This is going to be an absolute no-brainer. It's £100 a month per user, but if you add up all your individual licensing costs, if someone's paying £20 a month for ChatGPT, 30 quid a month for their E3, E5 license, and then all the other like Power Apps, all that type of stuff around it, it becomes a bit like more justifiable to kind of pull it all under one roof. So yeah, an E7 license.
An E7. There we go.
Madness. But yeah, the 1st of May. So again, I think if you guys are on E3 or E5 already and are thinking about Copilot, might be worth looking at the E7. Have a look at the cost changes and the implications of adding that into a customer. Fun times. Where were the Vibe apps? Yep, that one. So yeah, Vibe apps and SharePoint. I'll come back to that in the future, and we'll talk about that in the next podcast, how I got on with it. But there's a few roadmap changes, Lisa. I just wanted to kind of make everyone just dates of the diaries. Basically, they're all over the next month or two. Imminently is the introduction of Microsoft Lists as knowledge sources. They should already be out. It's March 2026. I think I've seen it once or twice already, where we can use Microsoft Lists directly with our knowledge sources to query, summarize within Copilot. So that should already be out. I think it's March 2026. Next one is users can chat one-to-one with SharePoint agents directly within Teams chats. That's coming out in May 2026. So if you have a SharePoint agent already created, connected to your SharePoint sites, your pages, your lists, your libraries, your folders, your content, directly within Teams chats, you'll be able to reference the SharePoint agents and also query and ask questions about your data. Which would be pretty nice. An updated one It has been pushed back, this one. I did think I mentioned it on the last podcast as well, was the access denied experience, or the UI. So when you hit a SharePoint site, there's going to be a new user interface experience. That's been pushed back also to May 2026. So we're not going to quite get the access denied screen till a couple of months' time. That one's been pushed back. And also in August 2026 is the planning and the creation of pages with Copilot. So that's something that's going to be, I think it's August 2026 that's planned for. So I mean, this is just going to continue to evolve every other day that you and I speak. But there's going to be continual investment in changes within Microsoft 365 and SharePoint. All the announcements, obviously, from the 25th celebration anniversary birthday bish bash that they had, they're going to start to drip feed out now between now and August through, I think, SharePoint libraries, and lists are pretty much on the horizon. If you've joined the Frontier program, you can get access to them today. All you need to do is activate it within your tenancies, a Frontier program, and then using PowerShell, you can activate the Copilot capabilities within your SharePoint site, but you've got to use PowerShell to do it, and there's a few prerequisites for it as well. So, but yeah, so if anyone wants to access a lot of this stuff, you can before it comes out to public release. And I think this is it opens up a conversation, Lisa, to should customers be activating the Frontier program on a live tenancy? Nope. But this is obviously part of the conversation about should you guys all have secondary tenancies for testing, bug fixing, identifying solutions, and building it in an environment, where that you can get exposure to these new features before they come out 100%.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be activating them on live tenancies, but if you do have a secondary one, activate the Frontier program, have a little look, play around, and it'd be great to see where this goes in the future, because I think it will be, maybe not now, but 12 months' time. I think we'll see a lot more customers in the Copilot world. I think we'll get a lot more people playing about with Copilot within SharePoint, you and I. So I think it's now the time. I think a lot of customers should now be preparing for this change, whether it be now or in the future. I think Copilot is going to be something that now, because it's in within SharePoint natively now, it's going to be something that's going to be continually developed, I think.
Well, yeah, it's going to ever evolve.
Oh, every single time. Every time they speak, it will grow arms and legs, I think. This will be fun. Fun.
Great times.
Yeah,
It keeps us on our toes.
Absolutely does. I mean, it's big. I think later on, I think the Scottish Summit is probably going to be the perfect time, match. I think that's October. I forget when that one is. Yeah, I think it's October. That's a really interesting time of the year as well, and there'll be a lot of more people sort of speaking about it there, demonstrations and stuff. It'll be interesting to see where the community goes with this over the next 6 months, and see where we're at. And that'll be one of the first ones, I think, communitively wise. We'll see where people are taking the technology, and you and I, customers, a few of them have been mentioning Copilot more, maybe not so much within SharePoint and stuff, but Copilot within Teams, Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It is starting to become a little bit more prominent, and we'll be hopefully there to guide our customers along the way as they go into the world of SharePoint. Because I think that's, for me, I get so giddy, Lisa. I'm so excited for Copilot and SharePoint. Imagine over the years you and I have dealt with so many I can't find something. Oh, I can't find it. Now it's just oh, can you find me all the invoices that were due this month that were invoiced to this customer over a certain amount? And it literally just gives me the answer.
Yep.
It's almost like reporting within Copilot. You can ask questions and query SharePoint now to get the answers out. So it kind of leans into, is our SharePoint site's going to be good? Are we not using folder structure? Are we using metadata? Because all that metadata is going to lead into Copilot being better and creating a much more universal, better search experience for content within our SharePoint sites, not just dumped in there. I'm really excited for the direction of SharePoint and Copilot. I really am. I didn't think I was going to be, but for purely searching, analysis, and data understanding, it's going to change the way in which we understand data much better. And obviously guys like Ted and Scott and the Power BI people in the world, it's going to be fascinating to see how Copilot and Power BI shifts a little bit. Because if you and I, just as normal users, Lisa, can query our SharePoint list to tell us, what our percentage of records in the incident ticket log are, completed, it'll just tell us. We don't need a Power BI report to show us a visual graphic now. Copilot will just show us and tell us. So it's going to be really, really fascinating. I'm really excited for Copilot, Lisa.
No,
Don't know
it'll
about
be,
you, but I am.
good. I'm getting there. I'm
Getting there,
getting
okay.
there. I'm getting there. I'm still a slight skeptic on some of it, more so from the client side. You know, I think the application itself is absolutely amazing, but excuse me, I think it's very much as you were saying earlier, you know, the governance within an organization that implements Copilot, what's going to happen. And that's the bit that makes me nervous if it goes wrong.
So I just, it doesn't upset me. I think that's probably the wrong word. I think I'm just disappointed, Lisa, in customers that they turn on Copilot and start using it without any real thought process. Like, oh yeah, let's use Copilot. I'm like, no. Don't please do not just turn that on. There's no due diligence and governance first before turning it on and before the consideration of using it. And I mean, it depends who's policing all this. That's my biggest concern. Like, do we have organizations who have AI teams and AI specialists? The older customers and customers that have been around for years, no, they just don't have the skills and personnel to understand the implications of AI in a workplace. And that's where we're sitting. A few customers that are really on top of this. We had a conversation a few weeks ago, and they're really on top of it. And they're learning to, they're learning to crawl before they can even walk, and then walk before they even run. And I'm just like,
is that the client in Wales?
It was indeed.
Yeah. It is, yes.
So they're going about very doing their due diligence, understanding training, potential of how the technology can be used. Then they're making sure everything's set up correctly. The licensing is allocated to pilots first, make sure we can understand the technology in our business. And then it's just been done in the correct way. But they've got support from the local government and councils and stuff. So it's a little bit different where that they have the full support mechanisms to do it correctly. If we're looking at Joe Blogg's window cleaner using SharePoint 365, nah. So I think small, mid, and large scale businesses should treat this the same. Yeah, I worry for a lot of customers. So again, if anyone is listening and you do have concerns about activating Copilot or don't know what the concerns about Copilot are, please just pick up the phone or email us. I'd rather say something than not say anything at all about the security concerns of accessing data wrongly, creating sites and content, but creating duplication, causing issues for all sorts of stuff. It's just, yeah, I think that you and I have got a lot of exposure to it and we're aware, but a lot of customers don't. And they're not willing to listen. And I think that's the concern. So, yeah, please, due diligence, humans, look after your data and then switch on Copilot. And I agree with you, Lisa. I think that is my concern as well, is definitely governance. Not so much how cool the tech is. I think you and I are both in agreement that it's pretty cool. It's just...
It's pretty cool.
Be prepared to use it correctly. So
yes,
yeah. Fun times. Well, that is all the kind of updates I had, Lisa, and regards to like everything that's come up. I mean, there's a few more, but I mean, it's mainly across the other wider 365 sphere with like Teams and stuff like that. But I'll kind of keep it nice and short for people today.
Yes. So yeah, but no, yeah. As you said, to start the big business news is Anthony coming in. We are still on a recruitment drive trying to find another Power BI trainer. So if anyone knows any really good Power BI trainers, point them my way. It's great if you're a data analyst, and that's superb, and you can use Power BI, but it's not any good if you can't train it. So yeah. So that would be a very much a nice to have in the next quarter.
Yeah, that would be delicious because it's a very particular person.
You've got to have a particular brain to do that.
Yeah, teach it, be an evangelist, speak highly of it, but articulate it in a way where people can understand it at various different levels. Because Power BI, although is naturally seen as like an analyst and you understand what you're doing, there's people that don't, and they just need to know a little bit more about it and be able to speak to people like that. It's a very niche skill set. Yeah, so if anyone is, please reach out. We are obviously looking for a human to help us with Power BI stuff, which is exciting.
Yes.
Cool.
No, it's fab.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, and then obviously just about to jump into Q2 and it's manic.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy sort of next few months. I think for Anthony as well, getting his teeth into it. I think I've got a lot of kind of work coming up in Scotland, which is nice.
I know.
I'll take that. I think I can look at busy till the end of the year, but I think I think there's a few new updates to courseware coming as well for people.
Yes,
to kind of,
there
like,
is.
keep an eye
There's
on.
all the new features and functionality are being written in at the moment. Obviously, because there's been so many over such a short space of time, it's hard to keep up with them all. So the new SharePoint material should be finished by the end of next week. So that covers the SharePoint end user course, the site owner course, and the Zero to Hero and the document management one. So yeah, so it's all go.
All go. And talking of going, not quite Microsoft 365 related, the Blackbird corporate race team had their first opening weekend at Snetterton with a 1-2.
Straight up the bat, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was the most first round of the season. Obviously, everybody's a bit nervous about what's coming. Not that we need to be, I mean, Carl and Steve do an amazing job, so that was fine. But obviously, I do pit wall, so I'm the one that's what's happening, and it was so funny because first race out on the Saturday, they both had an amazing qualifying, absolutely outstanding qualifying session. First race out, we'd had a little powwow before I left the awning to do my long walk to pit lane, and I was like, just go out, have fun, just don't need a drag race to the finish line.
Team manager's kind word, just go have fun.
Just go have fun. Just go and have a bit of fun, But let's first round of the season. I don't need the blood pressure to go.
I don't want to crash Bill. I don't want to fix fairings.
Anything this weekend. I'm not doing it.
Saunter around. Please.
So the first race off they went. Banzai. It was absolutely insane. And Steve, I don't know what Sarah fed him, his wife. I don't know what she fed him before he went out, but he was off like a rocket. And when I put the board out, he had a 3-second gap from first to Carl and second on the last lap. So I just put my hand out and went, just calm.
Yeah.
Just calm. Didn't expect him to stop.
Yeah, literally slow down. The onboard footage is on LinkedIn. Did you post it?
Did I post? I can't remember. Yes, I think I don't know if I did.
I saw the onboard from Carl's perspective, and you see Carl shaking his head as he goes over the line because obviously he almost got him on the line.
Yeah, but it was also
hilarious.
It was the best bit of it was I'd put the board down, checkered flag was out, some riders had gone past from the other class. Turned my head to see Steve and Carl come round the second to last corner, almost side by side. Steve didn't realise Carl was that close. Came off the last corner. Carl got the slipstream. Steve was so excited, he started celebrating before he crossed the finish line.
Yep.
And it was 0.02. And Carl was shaking his head. Partly it was so close, and partly don't celebrate until you cross the line.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. And I'm standing on the wall, and I was just like, see, I know I said, drag race to the finish line. I didn't actually mean for you to do it on the first race. But yeah, the whole weekend, absolutely spectacular. The entire weekend. And on the Saturday, every Saturday we do a big team barbecue. And it's become quite famous. We had half the paddock.
So coming around for a little
last
bit
weekend.
Of barbecue action.
Everybody come around, and it made me laugh because I've got I had a little barbecue, and then Steve had said, "Oh, I've bought one," and he brought it out. Well, it's my one's like Dad. It's massive. And then Jim from Gem Race Composite that does all our carbon fiber work, he bought one out. So we're all sitting there. With the 3 bar, it was like the 3 bears, Mummy, Daddy, and Baby Bear, all hung. I set out, but it's great fun. It's great fun. But yeah, out at Donington, 25th of April.
25th. There you go. Hopefully the weather's a bit nicer. It's been brutal weather recently.
It's just awful. Well, when we were at Snetterton, the Thursday for testing was like the tropics. We're all in shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, even today is gorgeous today, and I seen the pictures from Knock Hill. We had testing up our way for the Scottish Championship, and it was like horizontal rain, hailstones, snow, freezing conditions, wind whirling everywhere, and then just a flick of a switch, gorgeous blue weather, beautiful.
Yeah,
lovely outside.
So it's a good start to the season. I'm a happy cookie.
Happy team manager. That's all that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all that matters. So you're happy because that
Yeah.
then translates to work, and
It
works are
does.
happy. And if anyone ever has a call with Lisa in a meeting, just look behind her for the big trophies and stuff in the pictures.
Yeah.
And you'll see them. I think I've got. You can almost see the camera here. My old racing boots are actually kind of here
Behind your head. I can see them.
You can kind of just see them there. My old mementos.
I know. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Donington. It's one of my favourite circuits.
It's
so
one of the best circuits in the UK. I've raced there a couple times, and it's fast, flowing, smooth, undulated. Oh, it's super fun track. Big as well. That's one thing a lot of people forget is how wide these tracks are, particularly the international, national circuits. Silverstone, Donington, they're so wide that it takes a couple kind of laps to adapt to them away from like the not club circuits but like Cadwell, Oulton. All these tracks are just a lot narrower. Snetterton's quite not narrow, but like they're a lot narrower than these international tracks, and they make a huge difference to like speed and braking points. And it's a good. I love Donington. It was always one of my favorite ones to watch at and to race at. So yeah, good luck, Lisa.
Yeah, but the exciting news for the team this year is we get to come to Knock Hill.
I know. I actually get to
come
see
home.
The guys. Get to come home. Is that
we
August?
Get to come home. Yes. Yeah, it is August. Yeah, we're up there. So
wow.
yeah, Steve's never raced Knock Hill.
Okay.
Carl raced Knock Hill half a dozen times when he first started racing 11 years ago. But it's been a long time since he's raced Knock Hill.
Wow. So I'll see if when I'm up there, I'll try and do a wee track walk. I'll try and give them as many tips as I can.
Well, we've also got the Team Tasker racing that weekend with us.
Are they? Oh, nice. That's wicked.
Yeah. So Andy, I think Andy's I don't know if Sammy's going out because obviously Sammy's a mummy now.
She is indeed.
I think Andy's going out, and I've already said to Anne, their mum, that I will be getting Andrew to give Steve massive tips on how to get around that track.
Exactly.
So yeah, because it's a really technical circuit, and you've got to learn it.
Yeah, although it's a small circuit, that's exactly it. I can't even tell you the tens of thousands of laps I've probably done like that when I was younger, and it is very technical. And then there's certain corners where you might approach it like you would normally another track, but it's like there's just like if you go up through Clark's, like don't tip in early. No. You're planning for the second corner, so you need to prepare before that to get up and over and round. It's a little bit different on a pre-injection 600 than a superbike, but. It's all about corner speed, momentum, leading on to the next corner, using every inch that you can. And then avoiding all the bumps, knowing where the bumps are is going to be really important.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be good fun to watch the lads. Obviously, I had to see them instead of watching on a YouTube live stream or from getting my posts from you. I can actually go watch the guys.
I know.
It'll be fun.
I know. So yeah, anybody. That's a good point actually. Anybody that's interested in motorcycle racing, let me have my teeth in. No Limits are now televising all the rounds live on YouTube. You can watch them from start to finish. So if you want a bit of a giggle over the 3 races that Steve and Carl were playing shenanigans in last weekend, go on to the YouTube TV, the No Limits TV channel. It's brilliant.
I'll put the link in the YouTube description.
Yes.
For people to watch it if they want to have a little tinker, because we're going to upload this to YouTube anyway, so
yes,
I'll pop it on there for everybody to watch. There you go, some exciting little bike news to
go.
Finish this podcast today, which is nice. Any other final words, Lisa? Anything else for the lovely people?
No. I think we've overloaded everybody's brain with everything that's happening.
New SharePoint, new Copilot, Vibe apps, quick actions, integrated workflows.
Yep. So yeah, it's just and obviously as you've said, there's so many new things coming up as well for the rest of this year. We will keep you informed of everything that's happening. Stuart posts constantly on LinkedIn, as do I, so look forward to the next one.
Should be fun. Cool. Right. Well, we'll plan the next one shortly, and we'll speak to everyone shortly. Any questions? Obviously, just reach us on the socials. Any comments? I'll try and pick up any questions in the comments and. LinkedIn. I'll try if anyone has any questions, just give us a little message on there. And then next time we'll try and get Mel again. We will try and get Mel.
We are determined. Yeah, we will get Mel and Anthony on this at some point.
Little team call. We'll introduce the team to everybody. Mel will not like it, but we'll try our best.
She'll hate us for it.
She's now on camera on Teams calls in the office.
She does. That's because you told her off.
I did, yeah, because I was like, that's very rude not to be on camera.
That's what we say to clients when we're training.
It's like I'm talking to you as if I'm with you. Like,
yeah.
Come on, Mel. We'll get her. Okay. Right. Well, that has been an absolute. Well, thank you very much, Lisa, for your time today.
Yes.
I appreciate
Well,
it. We've got a nice little chill week this week, I think, for the two of us. I think so. We'll continue to work and develop. But yeah, any questions? Reach out. Thank you very much all for listening and watching. If you've been watching this vodcast back on our YouTube channel, and for now, it has been an absolute pleasure. Well, thank you very much, Lisa. I'll see you later, and it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye from me. Hello. All right, catch you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.